We did not make that part of the map. You will not go that way. Yeah. Oh no. How do I get into the tree that I will need to air assassinate him? Is the question here. Don't get up. Thank you, game. You're very kind to me some days. Other days, not so much. Get into that bush. Okay, there has to be a reason there's like this long, just continuous line of bushes. Ooh. Is that the tree I need to get into? Get down. I need to remember I don't need to be quiet, like always. Yeah, I am. Why? What else would I do?
Let's get back to work.
Yeah, please get back to work now. Oh!
You're there.
Oh, screw you, game. Oh, screw you. At least now I know where to go. No. Oh, it's never on the weapon I want it to be on. Okay. At least now. Okay, can you? No, you did not have it on the weapons I want. I want that one, and I want that one. Thank you. At least I know not to bother going the opposite direction. I don't think that counts. I might stand up for a second, so I'm gonna wait for him to go away. Because they are not my mother, they do not have eyes in the back of their heads. Okay. Let's do this. Does that count? Like, is it now? There you go. Limit regular kills. Hello, you. How did I get over there? Is the question. Come on. Ooh. Okay. Let's try this again. Do I have the right weapon? Yes. Yes, I do. You cannot silent kill with an axe. Imagine that. And now. Okay. Nobody can see me over here. I can't pick up that body. Why would you be able to pick up the body? That would make things too easy. Ooh. Is this gonna do what I want it to do? Need to get in that tree over there. Can I do that without being detected? That's the issue. Be kind to me, be kind to me. Please say you did it. Yes! Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Oh, off the flag post as well. Oof.
Why did you do this?
To protect Adams and Hancock and those they serve, you meant to kill them.
Kill them? Are you mad? I wanted only to parley. There was so much to discuss, to explain. You've put an end to that now.
If you speak true, then I will carry your last words to them.
They must lay down their arms. They must stop this war.
Why
I
them
don't
and
know how
not
to
the
stop this war.
Redcoats?
Do you not think we ask the same question of the British? These things take time. And I would have succeeded had you let me play my part.
Part of the puppeteer.
Or better, we hold the strings on another.
No, the strings should be severed. All should be free.
And we shall live forever on castles in the sky. You wield your blade like a man, but your mouth like a child. And more will die now. Because of that.
Because of my mouth? I don't know about that. Oh, time to run. Yeah, I was gonna say, Connor, there's no time to be reading right now. Well, I don't have to try and escape.
How dare you sneak up on me like that? Why don't you just go out there and just help this camp retreat? Don't ever do that again, you hear me? God damn it!
General Putnam.
You live.
The same cannot be said for Pitcairn.
Well done, I suppose. But it matters little now. I'm ordering a full retreat. We have lost too many in exchange for too little. If the Tories want this hill so badly, let them have it. Boston is the true prize.
We have a bigger problem.
What do you mean?
You still haven't apologized to me. That is your bigger problem.
This can't be right. It says they plan to murder Washington.
Hey! I wanted to finish the session half an hour ago. Memory sync, sequence 7 complete. Oof. I think this is glitching a bit. Or they just wanted a really cool look.
My enemy is tenacious. When money failed them, they took to force. But I have slain Johnson and Pitcairn both, ending their plots. George Washington now rallies the colonists and their march towards freedom begins in earnest. Little wonder, then, that the Templars now want him dead. They seek to reshape this land into something cold and ordered, something soulless. And he is an obstacle. I must save him, that his cause can flourish and my people remain safe. But the more I prod, the greater the chance I am discovered. The Templars believe their men lost the revolution. In their eyes, the assassins are gone and scattered, no longer a threat. But I fear they will soon discover the truth, and me along with it. I must tread
Sequence 8,
carefully.
Davenport Homestead, 1776.
How fares the hunt, Connor?
There is progress, but I worry it is not enough.
You must strike where you need it most. What if you pursued Charles Lee and your father? What then of Paul Revere and the soldiers at Lexington?
Soldiers? There were no soldiers in those towns, only men and women who were forced to defend themselves.
Is this not why you fight? To protect your people? Your struggle is the colonists' struggle. In helping one, you help the other.
History says otherwise.
Encouraging words from one who thought mine a fool's errand.
Make no mistake, I still do. But I can't help but feel some pride in your success.
And why should I give you any credit?
Then don't. But first, return the robe and the blade and the darts and all of the years of training and knowledge I have bestowed upon you. Return these, and then your words may have some merit.
Or you could just admit that you are wrong.
Oh, child, please, you've killed 2 men. One more salesman than soldier. You're gonna have to try a lot harder than that to impress me.
Is that so, old man? Or perhaps we should step outside. I will gladly demonstrate how easily I could trounce.
Connor, this is Benjamin Talmadge. His father was one of us, no need for secrecy. I think he has something he wants to say.
Achilles tells me you've uncovered a plot to murder the commander-in-chief.
Yes, but I have only false starts and dead ends to show for it.
Not anymore, my friend. Thomas Hickey's your man, and I aim to help you catch him.
How?
I'll explain on the way. You and I are going to New York.
Oh, we're finally going to New York. Okay. All fast travel stations found in New York? I mean, sure. I guess I did that at some point. We have so many entries, and I have 8 minutes. So let's read. Ooh, that actually might be the first one we got that I didn't read. Coincidentally enough. The Second Continental Congress. In the light of the bloody events in Massachusetts, a Second Continental Congress representing all 13 colonies has convened in the city of Philadelphia. The Congress will attempt to order the military situation in accord with agreement among all the colonies. It will seek as well to center parleys with London in one place and with all the colonies in unison. The Second Congress will be presided over by John Hancock of Boston, as Peyton Randolph is not in good health and cannot continue his duties from the previous such Congress. In these few months since the glorious battles at Lexington and Concord, the military effort has been ad hoc. Various militias have driven out Tory officials and seized royal I almost read that as Mounties. Nope. Munitions. Thereunto, the first accomplishments of the assembled representatives has been created from the several colony militias, a single continental army, and to name a general to lead it. George Washington of Virginia, who saw considerable duty in the French War, is to be commander-in-chief with the Artemis War. Charles Lee, Philip Schuyler, and Israel Putnam as major generals. Congress has exerted itself in the mercantile interests of the 13 colonies. All American ports are now open, mooting the odious Navigation Acts. Despite the creation of the Continental Army, the Congress expects that the divisions between all colonies and the Crown to eventually be set right to the benefit of all. To this end, the Congress has approved the Olive Branch Petition to the British Crown in gesture of reconciliation. Battle of Bunker Hill, date June 17, 1775. Bunker Hill was one of the first battles of the Revolutionary War. Technically, the rebels lost, but it was a Pyrrhic victory for the British. Let me set this up a bit. There were 2 places where rebels' forces would have been able to mount attacks on the British-occupied Boston. One was the Charlestown Peninsula to the north, and the other was Dorchester Heights to the south. When rumors started that the British were going to fortify the hills around Charlestown, the rebels decided to act. By which I mean do something. By which I mean do nothing. Opposite of that. Which I mean do something, not put on a little play. On the night of June 16, 1775, troops around the command of William Prescott sneaked in onto the peninsula, occupied Bunker Hill, and built fortifications on Breed's Hill. It was tactically a terrible choice. Breed's Hill was easier for enemies to climb and much more open to attack, and close enough for the British ships in the harbor to come under fire. In fact, Prescott's orders were to fortify Bunker Hill. It's uncertain why he made the switch. Maybe he had trouble with the B word, like bunker and breed, with B words like bunker and breeds. He probably thought he was fighting against the Belgians, not the Brits. Fortunately for the rebel army, it seemed the British were almost as tactically inept as they were. When General Howe landed troops at Malton's Hill, he waited for reinforcements rather than attacking immediately. This gave the rebels' forces time to shore up their fortifications. When Howe finally did attack, he divided his forces, expecting the disorganized rebel army to fall before him, which it didn't. In fact, the British forces attacked and retreated twice before winning the day, and after they received more reinforcements and the rebels were mostly out of ammunition. Casualty reports are telling. 228 British soldiers dead, including many of their officers, and more than 800 injured. On the rebel side, 301 injuries and 140 deaths. The Continental Army had shown that they could hold their own against a better trained British army. It's hard to say which side was more surprised by that. It still surprised me to this day. History has situations like that. Bunker Hill. This is the largest hill in Charlestown Peninsula and the closest to the mainland. During the Battle of Bunker Hill, rebel reinforcements arriving in Charlestown Peninsula headed to Bunker Hill, but weren't sure what to do once they got there. Rather than joining the battle, which was raging on Breed's Hill nearby, they wandered aimlessly around Bunker Hill, so disorganized they hadn't even brought a picnic. Israel Putnam was here attempting to direct troops, giving vulnerable instructions such as the famous "don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes," which he probably said several times to anyone who listened. And to be fair, it's a pretty good quote. It's a quote I've heard, and that's rare in American history, so it has to be good. It's a very popular quote then. That seems to be the only one of his directions that stuck. Many of his other orders were either misunderstood or deliberately disobeyed. Given the disorganized state of the Continental Army at the time, it was probably a little bit of both. Israel Putnam, born 1718. Israel Putnam, more affectionately known as Old Put, is something of a legendary figure in Revolutionary War history, and possibly his best-known soldier, a bit of a folk hero, if you will. Putnam was born in Massachusetts and later moved to Connecticut to take up farming. He credited with killing the last wolf in the colony, crawling in its den with a musket, a torch, and a rope tied around his feet so he could be pulled back out. He really didn't like wolves. Oh, and I believe you mentioned he was a folk hero? That's only part of it. He joined the colonial militia during the French and Indian War, where he earned a reputation for bravery and inspiring the soldiers around him. He was captured by a group of Kanien'kehá:ka in 1758 and rescued just before he was to be executed. In 1762, he was shipwrecked in Cuba while on a campaign there where, you'll love this, he learned about cigars. He became a habitual smoker and is credited with introducing the cigar to the colonies. After the war ended, Putnam returned to Connecticut, where he was a vocal opponent of British attack policies that led to the Revolution. He founded the Connecticut branch of the Sons of Liberty. When he heard about the Battle of Lexington and Concord, he immediately signed up for the Continental Army and was named Brigadier General of the Connecticut Forces. He commanded troops at Bunker Hill, and the near success of the rebels there sealed his reputation. Washington had high hopes of Putnam as a leader, and he was named Washington's second command in New York just prior to the Battle of Long Island. Fortunately, Putnam was a good soldier, but a poor tactician. The Battle of Long Island was a rout. Putnam fared no better at his new post guarding forts on the Hudson River, where he was outmatched by General Henry Clinton. After that, Putnam requested to be assigned to recruitment, and Washington agreed. So, at least he had cigars. Oh, so many. Charlestown. Charlestown is the name of both the small town to the north of Boston and the peninsula it sits on. Peninsula was the site of the Battle of Bunker Hill, which was sometimes called the Battle of Charleston, since the fighting did span across more than one hill. This is also where Paul Revere started his well-known midnight ride, which I still think sounds more like something you do with a lady. Sean. As to the town of Charleston, which while it was established prior to 1775, little of it survived the Battle of Bunker Hill. Continental Army snipers were stationed here to harass British troops, and the British set fire to the town to root them out. Most of the buildings were razed, and the rest were burned during a raid in January 1776. The only part of the town that survived the war was the street layout. Charleston was rebuilt, however, and is now part of Boston. That's how it goes. Burn it down, you rebuild it. Or build next to it. One of the two. Technically, the Battle of Bunker Hill could have been called the Battles of Breed's Hill. This is where the Continental Army built their main fortification, and so much of the fighting happened here. Breeze Hill was only one thing to recommend. Had only one thing to recommend it over Bunker Hill. It was closer to Boston, which made it easier to fire artillery at the city. Though, of course, one disadvantage of the situation was that it was also a little easier for Boston to fire back. Nobody knows why William Prescott chose the spot over Bunker Hill. It's possible that since he was working on fortifications in the dark, Prescott didn't realize how vulnerable the hill actually was until the sun rose, by which point it was a little too late to up and move. I imagine that was probably quite an awkward moment. I wonder if there's any private diaries to go along with that. But yeah, this has already gone way longer than I thought it would, so I'm gonna end the session here. Want to thank you for watching. Hope you had a good time. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.